Hey everybody, Jeff Toyster here, and we're going to talk about this week's customer service tip of the week, which is the preemptive acknowledgement. Now, about 2 minutes away before we get started. Couple notes. One is, if you tuned in last week or tried to tune in on LinkedIn and didn't see me, I'm sorry. There was a technical issue. Everything looked good on my end, and then afterwards I realized due to that technical issue, we were not broadcasting. So I apologize if that frustrated you last week. If you tried to tune in and couldn't, hopefully everything's working for you this week. I'm trying to learn from my experience. So what am I doing today? I am monitoring the live feed on LinkedIn. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. And it looks like it's working fine. So we'll see how it goes today. I have a little bit of a icebreaker question for you. If you're tuning in, another experiment for today. We should be on LinkedIn Live. We should be on Facebook Live and YouTube. So 3 different places. If you will, I have a question for you. What's something that's frustrated you as a customer lately? So for me, I may have frustrated you last week if you tried to tune in to the broadcast on LinkedIn Live and you couldn't. If so, again, I'm sorry. But maybe there's something else. So as you think about your time as a customer, what's been frustrating to you? And I'll leave this question up here for just a moment. Looks like we're at the top of the hour. So let's get started. Hi again, everybody. Jeff Toyster. This week's customer service tip of the week is the preemptive acknowledgement. You may not have heard of this tip before, but it is one of my favorite techniques for preventing customer anger. And I bet it's been used on you more than once. In fact, when people use it on me, I notice the technique and I still like it. So I'm going to share that with you today and walk you through exactly how to use it, and hopefully help you discover some situations where it can work for you. If you are tuning in live or you're watching the recording, I've got a little discussion question for us right here. What's something that's frustrating you as a customer lately? Maybe it's long lines, maybe it's something specific, maybe it's a long wait, maybe it's a broken product. Let me know. I'm curious to know what's frustrating you. If you do participate, I get on the live broadcast, I get to share some of your comments on the recording. If you're watching this as a recording, I like to review them during the week and respond that way. So we can still keep it interactive, even if you're watching the recording. Here's one example. This one's from Sean, just a refusal to try and understand the problem. It seems to be happening a lot lately, where we're not getting empathy or the person's just not really listening to our perspective and not really understanding the core of the issue. There could be a lot of reasons for that, but that just adds to our frustration as customers. So excellent. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Before we jump into it and get started, one reminder as always about the weekly tips. It's 1 email, 1 tip, once per week. You can sign up right here to receive them. I sometimes do these broadcasts. I've done these a few weeks in a row. I think I might do a couple of more, but we'll see. The ones you can count on, though, is these tips coming via email. So anyone can subscribe. You can subscribe yourself, subscribe your coworkers, subscribe your team. And again, you can receive those tips, 1 tip once a week via email. So here's another one, just another example. Thanks, Louise. Not being kept actively updated. We know things are taking longer these days. Believe it or not, the other day, in April, I sent an email to a company's technical support team asking for some help. I did not get a reply until July. And in July, they said, hey, we're still working through our queue. Do you need help still now? No, I don't. I'm not even a customer anymore. So not being kept updated is a huge problem. Thanks, Louise. We got one more here. Providing genuine service and care. Just people acting like robots, which we are going to talk about that today. Okay, excellent examples to get us started. Please keep them coming. The question, if you're just tuning in, what's frustrating you as a customer lately? Let's talk about this technique, the preemptive acknowledgement. I want to explain it. I want to give a couple of examples of how it may have been used on you in the past. And then let's talk about how you can use it. So here is this technique and how you can use it to prevent customer anger. The way it works is you spot a situation where your customer is likely to be upset or frustrated. And before your customer has a chance to express their anger or express their frustration, you preempt that anger by acknowledging their feelings, acknowledging them, and then refocusing on a solution. Let me give you a couple of examples. One of my favorite examples of how it's worked with us and how it's not worked. Imagine you're out to a restaurant. I know we don't do that much these days, but think about the olden days when we could go out to eat with friends or family. And imagine going to eat on a busy evening. And you're having a good time. You get seated at the table. The first round of drinks come. You're enjoying the conversation. You place your order, and it's a great evening. But after a while, everyone just starts noticing about the same time, hey, our food hasn't arrived. You start looking around. It's been a little while. Where's our food? That's interesting. It feels like it should be here by now. And then you happen to notice a table over there. And you know they got seated after you and their food is arriving and they're happy and their food's piping hot and it looks delicious and you're getting even hungrier. You think, I need to find our server. What's going on? So you try to find your server and it seems like they're dodging you. They're nowhere to be found. Oh, and they're across the restaurant, but they're looking the other way. Is that intentional? You can see how you can get irritated. And by the time your food finally arrives, it's tough to rescue the experience. Here's that same situation with the preemptive acknowledgement. So up until a certain point, everything's exactly the same. You're seated, you're having a good time, you place the order, you're starting to notice, hey, where's our order? Just as that feeling arrives, your server shows up at your table. Hey, so sorry about the delay. I just checked in the kitchen and your order's the next one up. So I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, can I refill everyone's drinks? That simple phrase, acknowledging that you've been waiting, offering to fix it with a solution, prevents most reasonable people from getting upset. Because as long as they do exactly what they said they were going to do, it's okay. All right, thank you. We appreciate you checking in on us. It does two things. One is that it acknowledges the feelings that you might be feeling. And just by acknowledging those feelings, often it's the unacknowledgement, what Louise said earlier. Let's see if we can bring this back up. Not being kept actively updated, not being acknowledged. Or Poonam said that genuine service, that genuine care. Well, the preemptive acknowledgement demonstrates that, hey, I'm paying attention. I care about you. But the second thing it does is it refocuses the confidence that you have as a customer and the service provider has that I'm addressing the issue and it's going to be taken care of. So that's the preemptive acknowledgement. I'll give you another example. This happens a lot lately. Instead of restaurants these days, we're calling for customer service. And think about the experience of calling. So you call and then you get a recording and it says, please listen carefully because our menu options have changed. And so you're, oh, fine. And press 1 for this, press 2 for okay, press 2. Enter your account number. All right, probably not. Enter this number. No. Press 3 for support. I want a human. Okay, fine. And then you're on hold forever. You finally get somebody on the other end of the phone. And now you're frustrated, not only by whatever issue prompted you to call, you're frustrated by the experience of trying to reach a live person. What happens next is critical. Now, if you use the preemptive acknowledgement, what the person might say in a very cheerful voice, thank you for calling customer service. This is Jeff speaking. I appreciate you waiting. How may I help you today? We're acknowledging the person. We're inviting them to share now. Think about how most people answer the phone, like robot person. Hi, this is Jeff speaking. May I have your account number, please? May I have your date of birth? May I have your address? We're not even acknowledging the person. We're not acknowledging their feelings. We're not even allowing them to share the problem that they've been waiting 10 minutes to share. you can see why their anger and their frustration boils over at that point. So I want you to think about the answer to this question. Where can you use the preemptive acknowledgement technique? And if you're joining via the live broadcast, feel free to share a comment. If you're watching the recording, you could share a comment as well. We might respond to a few. While you're thinking of that, let me give you a couple of examples of where it works and where it doesn't work. So it works great when you spot the issue or the potential issue. So if, for example, if I'm taking phone calls and I know, because I can see data, that people are waiting for 5 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, I can anticipate they might be frustrated by the wait. So it's an opportunity to acknowledge the wait that they've gone through. If I see someone in real life, there's a queue, I can acknowledge that. If I have to deliver bad news to someone, then I'm pretty sure that bad news is not going to go over well. Hey, sorry, that issue we've been trying to fix, we're still trying to fix it. I know that's an opportunity when they might be upset, and here's the key, they have not been they're not upset yet. So one caveat is the preemptive acknowledgement does not work if they're already upset, if they're already frustrated. So if you answer the phone, hi, this is Jeff, they're like, I'm so upset. That preemptive acknowledgement technique won't work. We'll need to go to other techniques. Those are other tips for other days. So I want you to think about situations where it might work. And again, the caveat is you've spotted a potential issue, but the customer's anger or frustration hasn't boiled over just yet. Could be a delay, could be bad news, could be a situation where you're providing an update and it's not necessarily good. So there's lots of different situations where you might be able to do that. Let's see if we've got an example or two that we can share. All right, here's an example. This one's from Mindy. Thanks, Mindy. Mindy, thanks for wearing a mask as well. We appreciate that. When you know a customer is waiting for a part to come in, yeah, something that maybe his order is necessary for a repair, and it looks like it's going to take longer. So the customer is sitting there waiting. They anticipate it. Maybe you told them, hey, it's going to be in by Tuesday. And then you look and you find it's not going to be in by Tuesday. Just calling them or emailing them or contacting them in some way and saying, here's an update. I'm so sorry about this delay. Here's what we're doing about it. Now, so far I've mostly said, I'm sorry about this delay. I've learned recently, and this was a little footnote in this week's tip. So if you got the email, there's a link to additional information about this. So you got to get the email to see this. But in this week's tip, there was a link to an interesting study that said in these situations, the words thank you might often be more powerful than I'm sorry. So rather than I'm sorry for the delay, it's thank you for your patience. Now, personally, I found I use both. Thank you for your patience. I want to acknowledge their patience. And then if there's an error on our part, I might still say I'm sorry. So in Mindy's example, I might say, thank you so much for your patience with this. I'm sorry that the part is not going to be in when we originally expected it to be. So you can see the apology is for that broken promise. The thank you is acknowledging the patience. But anyways, if you check out this week's tip, there's a deep dive into why thank you might be more powerful than I'm sorry in certain situations. So thank you, Mindy. Let's see. Let's get another one here. Here's another one from Louise. If I don't have the answer, I'd ask the caller if I can come back to them and then acknowledge when we come back, hey, thanks for your patience with that, or thanks for giving me an opportunity to do some research. Again, using that thank you, that's a great opportunity to do this. Let's see. Another one from Sean here in healthcare, training emergency room staff. Wow, that's got to be a stressful situation for the staff. Just acknowledging wait times. That's going to be a little bit longer. And just, I like this idea. We haven't lost you. We're still paying attention to you. Can I get you something? A blanket, some water, etc. So Sean, excellent example. Okay, so you see some examples of this preemptive acknowledgement technique. It works by acknowledging and validating what a customer might be feeling. It shows that you're paying attention to them, and it shows that you're still working forward to a solution. When customers get really, really angry and upset, it's often not just the specific issue, it's that no one seems to be paying attention and no one seems to care. And the preemptive acknowledgement shows I do care, I am paying attention, and I am trying to help. If you are checking this out via the live broadcast, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are watching this via the recording, thanks for watching this far. You can leave your examples, questions, comments. I check them throughout the week, but that concludes this week's broadcast. So thank you so much and